This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good looking friends. So, William and Catherine are on Us Weekly tabloid magazine. So, for those that don't know, Us Weekly is a tabloid here that is almost on par with People magazine. It used to be super, super duper trashy. I mean, it's still trashy, but it is a couple steps above Star magazine, In Touch, the National Enquirer. This is a tabloid magazine that Meghan aspires to be in. And what we're seeing here in this spread that they did is that they are no doubt 100% Team Wales, or for the most part, the royal family. Now, who do you think was screaming like a banshee out in Montecito than our very own Duchess of Sussex? This woman really just can't help herself. And this now coming out in the July 15th issue of Star Magazine, a magazine that Meghan is notorious to be calling up and giving stories to. I really feel sorry for Catherine because Meghan's like this dark shadow that everywhere Catherine goes, Meghan's face has to be near. And here we are on the cover of Star Magazine. Meghan knows that Catherine and William are on Us Weekly, so why not get herself attached to the cover of Star Magazine? Because she knows the magazine's going to sell because it has Catherine on it. This is true mental illness out in the public for all to see. This is next level crazy. Listen to this article. The royal family is shrinking. Just 15 members of the monarchy appeared on the Buckingham Palace balcony during June 15th's Trooping the Color, the annual celebration that usually sees dozens of aristocrats in the line of succession and their families waving to the crowds. But that's how King Charles III wants it, in keeping with his plans for a slimmed-down monarchy, and his heir, Prince William, plans to keep the culling going once he's wearing the crown. When the older members of the family retire, a friend of the Prince of Wales told one news outlet, His Royal Highness won't be inviting anyone else to become working royals. Or perhaps inviting anyone back. And sources tell Star, Meghan, that Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle, who left their roles as senior working royals in 2020 after being told they couldn't have the half in, half out life of duty they desired, are alarmed that the clock is ticking on their chance of reconciling with his family and regaining their royal status. At first, they were just so relieved to cut ties with the firm that they were indifferent to Charles' slimmed-down monarchy plans, says a source, Meghan. They were too busy starting a new life in America. But now, as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex realize life on their own is harder than they thought, says the source, it could already be too late for any reconsiderations. They're running out of time if they ever want to reestablish their royal standing. The door is closing with the 75-year-old sovereign facing a short reign. As Star has previously reported, he was given 2 years to live after being diagnosed with cancer last winter, and William waiting in the wings. Now, who do you think gave that information to Star magazine? Also, these are middle-aged adults who are scrambling to get back into the fold here because life is so hard outside of it. Well, welcome to reality, Meghan and Harry. Wake the F up and get a job. Life outside the palace has been rough going for Prince Harry, especially without his father's financial support. They're talking about a 40-year-old man here. At least Meghan knew what it meant to work and struggle, and she had connections in Hollywood, says the source, Meghan. Harry didn't know anything about living in the real world, how to run a large household and cost of upkeep, pay for staff and security, or how to start a business. As a royal, everything had been done for him. Pause for a second. So Meghan is essentially putting the blame on her husband. Even though she has responsibility in the house, everything is Harry's fault. He's the one that is letting everything go to shit. And they literally just got done saying that Meghan knows what it's like to work and struggle. But still, they're finding themselves in this difficult position of life being hard outside the palace. Boo hoo. The only struggle right now for Meghan is figuring out who is the next host that this parasite can latch herself onto. In the meanwhile, Meghan's setting it up to make Harry look like the most incompetent fool because we know what she's getting ready to do. Anyway, continuing on, the dad to Archie 5 and 3-year-old little Betty has said he wanted independence, but his and the former Suits star's ventures have had mixed success. Though the Sussexes embarked on a well received unofficial tour of Nigeria in May and still have a deal with Netflix as well as Harry's beloved Invictus Games, a string of staff have left their production company. Their lucrative podcasting contract with Spotify abruptly ended last year, and their charitable Archewell Fugazi public charity hasn't brought in the same massive donations it initially did. They've had a lot of setbacks and embarrassments, concedes the source, Meg. They must have felt at one time or another that they were way above their heads financially and creatively. Maybe, Megan, it's time for you to consider flying commercial, as well as downsizing that Olive Garden castle of yours, as well as stop saturating the media and wasting money on all these stupid puff pieces that nobody believes, but instead laughing at you and are featured on YouTube channels like mine who are calling you out for your BS. Maybe start there. And now that the going is getting tough, Megan honestly thinks that the family wants to hear from her. Come on. As I read this next part, keep in mind that this is the Sussexes behind this article. So every time I say Kate, know that I really want to say Catherine, but I need to read it this way so you can understand the obnoxiousness. Reaching out. Worried about her husband, Meghan has secretly been reaching out to Kate, the source reveals, Meghan, and begging for help. She wants to make peace with Kate. She doesn't want any bad blood between them, shares the source, Meghan. Despite the Sussexes' public criticisms of the Prince and Princess of Wales in a bombshell-filled 2021 CBS interview, a 2022 Netflix docuseries, and Harry's 2023 memoir, Spare, in which they accuse Kate, 42, of making Meghan, 42, cry over her 2018 wedding, William, 42, of physically attacking his brother, and the family of harboring a racist. She wants a truce. Meghan's friend says she regrets how things went down and she never meant any harm to Kate, says the source, Meghan. Though she must realize she could have done things differently. Do y'all notice that nowhere in all of the attacking that Meghan and Harry did through Spare, Netflix, Oprah, not once do they say that she's ready to apologize for how this all went down? Though she must realize she could have done things differently, no, she did things as she wanted to do them, with malice and bad intentions. It's not like, oh, they did the Oprah interview and realized that that was a mistake. Yeah, I could see them slowly making it back, but it's been attack after attack after attack. And the attacks are still ongoing because of this terrorist group that they are funding and supporting. In March, after Catherine announced she was undergoing chemotherapy following her own cancer diagnosis, the Sussexes released a public statement wishing health and healing for Kate and the family. Privately, says the source, Meghan's been going out of her way to show concern for Kate in this difficult time. The yoga devotee who prides herself on her clean and healthy lifestyle has been sharing advice on wellness and diet, says the source. But the future queen has remained aloof. Kate's response has been polite at best, says the source, Meghan. She hasn't exactly encouraged or embraced Meghan, nor why should she? This is the thing that gaslights the whole entire world when Meghan pulls this shit. Like, Does she really believe that Catherine wants to hear from Meghan? I doubt it, but she knows that she's doing this for optics. You really can't win with these malignant narcissists. They are the most toxic people on this planet, and I feel so sorry that Catherine has this person in her orbit. I'm not going to say in her life because she is doing the right thing by ignoring her and shutting her out, as well as the rest of the family, because you don't let a snake like this back in. But in any case, look at what this narcissist is doing. She's painting Catherine as this ice queen now, even though she has done so much harm to this entire family. All must be swept under the rug as if it never happened because Meghan and Harry are not thriving for attacking and trashing the family in the first place. After all, her sister in law is Team William, as opposed to, I mean, what other team would Catherine be on? Catherine is 100% behind William and supports him in everything he does, says the source, a jealous Meghan, I bet, including his plan for a smaller stable of working royals. Don't forget, Queen Elizabeth II set the precedent, disinviting Harry and Meghan from the balcony at her Platinum Jubilee. The cold treatment the Sussexes received from the family members was something they hadn't bargained for, says the source, Meghan. They were relegated to the background and basically shunned. It hurt that they were so publicly ostracized. Oh, really? That's rich? Like how you went on television and pretty much lied your face off. That wasn't like being damaging or publicly humiliating. You called the family racist. Like, why would you want to be on a balcony with people that so abused you, Meghan? The majority of the people reading this article are thinking that you're a lunatic right now. The question now, is the door shut? Oh, you bet it is. Locks changed and everything. The harsh reality, says the source, Meghan, is that it's likely already too late to make amends. Harry and Meghan are never coming back to the firm, and even if they could, it's unlikely they would be welcomed back as working royals and have the same privileges they used to have, says the source. Especially once William is king, the feeling is that Harry and Meghan made their choice and now must live with it. You think? Nobody wants them back. And for Meghan to be putting out that she's reaching out to Catherine, do you think Catherine is giving her the time of day? Absolutely not. She probably instructs the palace to make sure that everything presented to her is Harkle free. She doesn't want any of that bad energy and juju that is being worked by this devil woman from Montecito. This woman, hands down, is 100% wicked. And what's so pathetic is that the Sussex PR machine is making it seem as if Meghan and Harry have legit businesses going on, and they have to highlight all their failures and spin it into a positive realm. Like, it's laughable, starting here with the Archwell-Fugazi Public Charity. Harry and Meghan established their charity arm in 2021 to uplift and unite communities by laundering money. In December, it emerged that it suffered an $11 million decline in contributions after 1 year. Are we so sure about that? Or is that money or whatever is coming in not being reported? I'm just saying, IRS, where you at? When you look at it, really, the main grift that they have going on is this Invictus Games of Harry playing off of him being the so-called Afghan veteran, in which they say that he celebrated the 10th anniversary of the international sporting event for wounded, ill, and injured soldiers and vets he founded in 2014, let alone not mentioning that William had given a lot of money to this organization. How much money did Harry and Meghan give so far to the Invictus Games Foundation? I'm guessing that number is pretty skimp, if at all anything. No royals attended the London celebration in May, despite being nearby. Well, do you blame them? I don't. Continuing next, those Netflix projects. Meghan's animated series, Pearl, was axed in 2021. 3 new projects are in the works: a docuseries on professional polo, ooh, exciting, a show about cooking, gardening, entertaining, and friendships, ooh, can't not wait, and a movie based on Carly Fortune's book, Meet Me at the Lake. How much you want to bet none of these see the light of day? Netflix just ride out this contract, and come January 2025, it's over. Moving on, American Riviera Orchard. In March, Meghan announced her new Montecito, California inspired lifestyle brand. Though it's yet to launch, a trademark application shows the company plans to offer jams, recipe books, home goods, and textiles. A rosé wine is also reportedly in the works. All destined to fail, by the way. All destined to fail. Oh, and how about the unofficial royal tours? The Sussexes embarked on a well-received, you think, not, unofficial royal tour of Nigeria over 3 days in May, where they promoted charity work, sports rehabilitation, mental health, and female empowerment. Oh, they forgot one. Meghan. They forgot promoting Meghan. They've reportedly been invited to visit Ghana next, and I call bullshit on that, as well as how could they forget the First Lady speaking out about Meghan's nakedness? We all heard that, right? Oh, next up, we can't forget podcasting. Their lucrative podcasting contract with Spotify abruptly ended last summer after producing just a single show, Archetypes. In other words, Meghan was dumped, and these two were called effing grifters. We can't leave that out. In February, the Sussexes inked a deal with Lemonada Media to distribute that show anew, plus a fresh, as yet untitled podcast series that also will never see the light of day. As we know now, Meghan's work shy and apparently not going to work on any podcast until 2025 to give her some space to launch this multi-billion-dollar empire that she has with American Riviera Orchard. And finally, this last one takes the cake. Investments and partnerships. In 2020, Meghan invested in Clever Blends, a women-owned small business, after trying their superfood lattes. In 2021, she and Harry partnered with Ethic, a company focused on environmental, social, and governance investing, otherwise known as philanthrocapitalism, as well as Meghan is selling poisonous lead-filled coffee. It doesn't matter what the Sussex PR machine does to polish these two turds in efforts to turn them into diamonds. It's never going to work. They blew their chance, and the world sees them for what they are. I think they would make more money if they genuinely fessed up to their evil and malicious ways. I do think that if Meghan came forward and said, yeah, you know what? I'm a bitch. I really don't like women. And yeah, I'm a fraud. I guarantee you that honest statement in itself is something that people, in some small sense, will respect more so than this fake faux humanitarianism that this evil, malicious, wicked woman keeps pretending herself to be. I mean, just own it, Meghan. Put on your wicked witch hat and fly, okay? But what do you guys think? Do you see how crazy this Star article is just because Catherine and William are on Us Weekly magazine? It's so pathetic, and it just is not a good look, Meghan. It really isn't. You look sad and pathetic, as well as deranged and crazy, that should be locked in a loony bin. Just my opinion. But share your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Such a fraud.